Continuing on with our Batman v Superman DC Comics Multiverse, we have Wonder Woman. Ooh, let's do it.
Step out of your world and step.
We're going to be talking about the DC Comics Multiverse, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman. And as you can see here, comes in a window box packaging, and we have Wonder Woman. In the movie, Gal Gadot, who you may have seen from the Fast and the Furious movies. Remember Han's girlfriend? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But she's beautiful, and she's going to be portraying Wonder Woman in the movie, which I can't wait to see. It's going to be awesome, coming out the end of this month. And here we have the toys. You know, the DC Comics Multiverse, it looks like this has taken the place of the DC Universe Classics line that Mattel and the Four Horsemen did, which has ended like a year ago. But I have a huge collection of that. And anytime I'm able to pick up another 6-inch figure in that scale, you know, similar in that articulation, paint, all of that, I definitely get it. And, you know, you got 6-inch icons from DC Collectibles, which are, you know, very similar. But this is more like the DC Universe Classics, and we're going to get into that. And let's just show you real quick the box. We have DC Comics Multiverse. We have the, let me raise this up, the Batman v Superman emblem. A beautiful picture there of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And you see Collect and Connect Grapnel Blaster Replica. So it comes with a little figure, well, a piece of the blaster replica. You get the whole set and you can build it. And let's see how it looks. Let's switch it to the back. And that's how Batman's Grapnel Blaster will look when it's all completed. And these are the figures in line: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Armored Batman. I have yet to see Superman, but I do have a Batman and Armored Batman, which I will be reviewing in the next video. You see? Wonder Woman. Not much to the side. You know, you got a beautiful picture. Beautiful picture. Nothing here. And that's pretty much for the box. So let's open it up. Well, let's take a quick look at her inside the box. See her sword, her beautiful shield. And you can see it looks like one of the pieces of that grapple gun. Grapnel. All right, let's open her up. And here we have Wonder Woman from Batman v Superman out of the window box packaging. And right off the bat, if you're just looking at the figure dead on, you would say awesome, because the paintwork is popping on this figure. Has great accessories in this amazing detailed sword, which is highly detailed and painted exceptionally with the gold and the blue, which I'm going to show you guys. And probably one of my favorite accessories of all time, definitely in a DC, you know, Universe Classics type figure, is that awesome shield, which I'm going to get into as well. But it has its flaws. It definitely has its flaws, and namely in the articulation, which knocks it down a few points. But we're going to get to that. Also comes with a piece of the Grapnel replica, the Grapnel Blaster replica, which is, whatever. Maybe I'll use this to stand her up, because I'm not interested in building any Grapnel Blaster replica. So I'm going to put that away. And let's break down her accessories even further. So let me take this off. She's going to fall. So I'm just going to see if I can take these accessories off again. Now this is the tricky part. Her shield. Just slide that right off. Hopefully not break the paint. Okay. Okay, good. So not too bad. But let's go into the sword first. Alright, so we have the sword here. And it is so detailed, which is amazing and surprising for, you know, movie masters. I mean, this is a figure based on a movie. This is Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. And usually they don't, you know, they don't pull out the bells and whistles for this kind of figure. I mean, they did it in the articulation, but they did put a lot of detail and paintwork into the sword. If you can see on the handle, it has that very dark blue with the gold trim, and you can see the notches. Got some dry brushing, some gold dry brushing on there even. That's a good view of the sword, the handle. Got a little gold going on there. Oh, wow. That blue is shiny. It's like metallic blue. Gold. You got the whatever animal. I'm guessing it's a horse. Could be wrong. The details on the silver painted blade. This is just beautiful. The accessories of this Wonder Woman are amazing. I mean, for the accessories alone, I would have picked up this figure. I mean, because look at this. We have this shield with the eagle in the front. And look at the graininess, the texturing of that inner circle. Oh my goodness. And the painted gold middle circle with gold little rings surrounding it. Actually painted. Again, I'm so surprised. I'm guessing because it's movie, you know, the movie time and the movie figures, they threw a lot of money into the budget and they said go for it. And they went for it. These accessories are killer. Silver outer circle with the Greek lettering on the side. Wow. Looking so good. And let's turn it around. They didn't you know, skimp out on the details of the inside of the shield either. We have here gold painted, detailed handles, and it looks like a forearm guard when she's holding her shield. Look at that. I mean, typically you don't see this kind of detail on the inside of a shield. Like say Captain America's shield from Marvel Legends. Inside would just be a little clip or a little prong or something like that. Here, it's detailed. It's painted. I am so amazed. Wow. Great job. Great job. So these two are definitely my favorite accessories. My favorite accessories by far of pretty much any figure I can remember in the 6-inch scale here. You know, Marvel Legends or DC. Wow. I'm going to put that away. Amazing. Now, we're going to go into Wonder Woman here. Now, Wonder Woman, like I said, overall, it looks, it pops. The paint work is amazing on this figure. They did an excellent, I would say, 10 out of 10 paint work alone. Let's go through, see the hair? Beautifully sculpted hair. All the way around. Right? Check out the back. The costume, the design from this movie is so cool. I love it so much. This is my favorite version of Wonder Woman by far. All right, you got the silver, the gold, the red, the blue, all her traditional colors. Her armband painted nicely. The silver and gold on her gauntlets. Even have the brown painted on her hand wraps. Let's see if she. Yep, same thing on the right arm. Now she has this what do you call it? This holder for her sword, which is also detailed. See the scope lines inside. Got her W, which is also sculpted. The sculpt worked on her red vest, her corset, going down to her skirt. Great job. And there's her lasso of truth, which doesn't come apart. It's just attached to the mold, which is fine. All right. Come on down. Let's go down to her knees. These beautiful leggings that she has. Again, I love the design, how it goes up to the knees with the point going up. The silver line work, the rivets, and look, buckles. Look at her sandals, right? All right, little splotchiness here with brown paint on the bottom of her golden heel, but that's not too bad. Look at the shoes. Exceptional paint job, guys. Exceptional. So far we have amazing A+ accessories. We have a grade A paint job. There's only one flaw in the paint job, and that's probably due to the sculpting, where her face is done very well. Look how nicely done they painted the lips. That's perfect. They did a great job with the lips. The eyes, they also did a very good job with. The eyebrows a little bit off, but not too bad. Now you can see the beautiful paint job on that tiny star in the middle of her forehead. Oh wow, it got silver paint all over that star without breaking into the gold headband that she has. I'm amazed at this paintwork. I can't believe from a movie masters type figure in the 6-inch scale. Usually it's not this nice. Now there is only one little problem that I see it, and you see with the connecting piece of her hair to her jaw. It looks like the flesh tone paint stuck onto the hair. Now I don't know if I want to play around with that and kind of cut it to make it loose, because it's noticeable. But again, I don't want to pull off the flesh tone paint, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, wow. This is the typical example of a paint job saving the figure. So the paint job, I love it. 9 out of 10. Let's say 9 out of 10. Not 10 out of 10. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Because there are their little flaws. But the sculpt, we've seen it before. I'm going to have to give the sculpt work a high grade as well because of the costume. I mean, we've seen some of these parts before, I should say, not the sculpt. Because they sculpted on this whole corset. Nothing's it's not just painted on like you would see in other toy lines. They sculpted on the gauntlets. They sculpted on the armband. They sculpted on the head dress and that little star in the middle. Her hair is beautifully sculpted. I just wish that they put that much attention into the articulation. Maybe they just decided they had so much money they can spend and they're going to put it all in to the paint and the sculpt and the accessories and leave out some of the articulation. The problem is, it's a big problem, and I'm going to show you why. Let's go into the articulation right now of this figure, and let's see if we can turn her head. She has this beautifully sculpted hair. You have the pretty face. You have the paint job that's popping, but the head does not move. Big flaw in an otherwise good-looking figure. Articulation. How can, this limits your displayability. This limits how you show her on the shelf. This limits your playability already, big time. All right? I mean, that's a big letdown. I mean, yes, the hair, they could have made the hair softer plastic so that you could move it, but this hair is pretty hard. This hair is a very hard plastic, and I'm not going to bend it. It's not pliable at all, and I'm not going to risk breaking it. Yeah, very, very rough. And the hair is long, so it limits movement back, forward, left, or right. So your displayability, you can only display her pretty much facing forward in the action pose like I had before. Something to that effect. You're not going to be able to do anything else really with her. Going to the articulation, she has a shoulder rotation which just passes her hair. Her shoulder goes up, and we've seen this mold used in the DC Universe Classics line, so it's not too different. We got a single elbow joint. We have no forearm swivel, but we do have wrist rotation. No finger articulation, had just a gripping hand. Same thing for the right arm. Now, another big flaw. Wonder Woman is a fighter, right? Wonder Woman is all about action. She's very agile. She's powerful. And we can't really pose her, one being the head, which is a disappointment. And all we have here is a waist swivel, which is, better than nothing, thank goodness, because I was worried that this will be a straight, solid piece. But there's no ab crunch, which I don't like on the females anyway, but there's no diaphragm joint, so we can't really get her to go back, see, or forward. Nothing like that. We're not going to get any ab crunching or flexibility or posability going backwards or forwards. So that's a little bit of a letdown. Let's see her legs. With the skirt piece, the legs are going to be limited. So it can only pretty much go that far out, which isn't far at all, being the fighter that she is. Again, they used the hard plastic here. Well, not too hard. But I'm not gonna risk messing up my sculpt here. But that's about as far as you can get. Up, it kicks pretty, you know, pretty decent. The thing about Wonder Woman, she can fly, right? So you can do a flying knee, or a flying kick. So it goes up about that far backwards. But we do have a single jointed knee, which is fine. And we do have a thigh rotation, which is okay. Now we go to these beautifully sculpted ankles and feet and all that. But look, okay, no back hinge. There's a hinge there on the ankles, but it doesn't go back without me forcing it. It doesn't go back, and I take that back. It does go back. There you go. I was worried. Oh, you see that? It does go back. And you know what's great about that, which I just noticed? The paint job is done so well. You know, usually they leave the flesh tone, but it works out here where it's supposed to be a sandal, right? So you should be able to see her, you know, her ankles. So just follow the ankle hinge and it closes up. And also in the front. So I take that back. There is great hinge joint movement here, going forward and backward. The problem is, again, for an agile figure, there's no ankle pivot, ankle rocker. So as you can see in the pose that I had her in before, you know, I'm trying to stand her in an action dynamic pose. She can stand pretty well, but the outside of her feet are sticking outwards. So, you know, she's more likely to fall right off your shelf if you don't put her on a stand. And let's see, and she doesn't have any peg holes in the feet, so you can't even put her on a stand, so you got to be very careful. So a little disappointed in the articulation. Not a little, very disappointed. You know, but this is what I expect from a Movie Masters. I do not expect from Movie Masters the awesome paint and, you know, sculpt work on the costume. That I do not expect. But the articulation, still a letdown. You know, otherwise this would have been an amazing figure if the articulation was there. And you can make her, in, you know, pose dynamically like she would in a comic book, like she would in a movie. So let's put these accessories on. The epicness of the sword is going to go into her right hand here. That make any sense? The epic sword. There you go. Yep. Now, this shield here, you got to be careful. It's a little tricky, and I'm worried about pushing it in too hard where it scratches her plastic, and which I would not want to do. I would love to keep my figures. If I'm going to open them, I want to keep them as pristine as possible, guys. That's how I roll. But I'm going to slide her in. You can't take apart the hand or anything like that. So just be very careful. Take your time. You see the hole here? You're going to try and slide her hand in sideways. And then, as it gets to the handle, you're going to try and turn her over. And then try and get the thumb locked. Like, it's not the best way to do it. I wish the piece came out so that you can put it in. But once I put this in, I'm not taking it out again. Nope, I'm not messing up this figure. And it's very tricky. Not a little tricky, but once you get it in, keep it in, guys. Okay. I do not want to break her pretty fingers. Finally got it to work, guys. As you can see, she's finally holding on to the handle. That was a definite struggle there. I was nervous. I did not want to bend the plastic anymore, you know, to risk breaking it or deforming it. But it's fine, and that is not coming off, okay? Because I'm not taking it off. You do it at your own risk. But we have her sword, and you see she has a little holder here for the sword, which I'm going to place right there. Let's go all the way in, guys, all the way in. There you go. See? Now, the thing about this holder that she has, you really have to pull it down. Otherwise, it bunches up, and that doesn't look good at all. So, pull it down nice and taut. All right? And let's take a look. See? So, it goes right on that holder. And she can grab it whenever she's ready to go into battle. So, we have the Batman v Superman Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. In comparison with other Mattel figures in the 6-inch scale, such as the DC Universe Classics Wonder Woman, and we have the DC Superpowers Wonder Woman. So as you can see, my favorite design by far for me, in my opinion, is this. I love this. The new outfit that Gal Gadot is going to be wearing, I absolutely love it. I love that Wonder Woman design. Very modern, very up to date. You know, and the other two are just classic, right? But if it wasn't for the articulation, I would say this might be my favorite Wonder Woman. Unfortunately, the articulation is very limited, as I said before, with the head not being able to rotate or bend forward or look up or look down, and only a waist swivel, right? And upon further inspection, let's take a look at these arms. She got some meaty arms, and now these arms look more like the WWE basic figures instead of the traditional DC Universe classic arms. As you can see here, this Gal Gadot Wonder Woman has a little bit thicker arms, and these are much more lean. And also the range of motion on the hinge is very limited in comparison to this one. You see here, the forearm just blocks that hinge joint, and it is a bigger forearm. So I think they're just representing that she's a bigger, you know, stronger female to hang with the boys in the movie, Batman and Superman. But yeah, I just wanted to get this, you know, comparable view with the three Wonder Woman here, and show off how this Gal Gadot Batman v Superman Wonder Woman can fit in your collection. Thank you so much for checking out this video. The DC Comics Multiverse Batman v Superman Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. I'm so excited to see this movie. I'm happy about the DC Comics Multiverse line and the potential, being that I want more 6-inch figures from other forms of media in the DC Universe. So that's exciting. I'm not going to get every figure, but I will be cherry picking, and I can't wait to see what comes up. But I am happy to have this Wonder Woman in my collection and stand her up next to the other Wonder Women. But, you know, this could have been a great figure if it wasn't for the articulation. Articulation has its flaws, big time. But the sculpt and the paint work, I love it. So I will be displaying her proudly on my shelf. And that's it for Gal Gadot. For Mecha Ish, like, subscribe, comment, and share. You know what to do. Peace.